What's up, everybody? I'm back with another video game review, and today we are reviewing Epic Mickey, released in 2010 on the Wii. It's again a Disney game off of Mickey Mouse, so more of a platforming, more open world platforming type experience. And I remember personally when this game first came out, it was one that intrigued me because I knew about Mickey Mouse and I knew about Disney. Who doesn't at this point? But the game looked like a little bit of a darker tone to it, so it didn't look like it was really for me. Therefore, I did not get it. Fast forward 13 years, and here we are. Credit to LikunMiffery for letting me borrow the game so that I could give it a spin and give it a play. So thank you for that. And I got some notes on it, so let's jump right into it, shall we? First off, in like the opening part of the game is a long opening cutscene sort of thing. First off, just be prepared for that if you plan on playing the game. But also, how did Mickey know that the mirror would do that? Like, how did Mickey know that the mirror would cause him to fall through it and like go through it into a whole nother world? He kind of just like walks up to it. There's no like ominous clue that it's going to do that. He kind of just walks up to it and just knows that that's going to happen. Like, what drove him to do that? There's no like context as to why he did that. It was weird. And I said, the cover looks like it has a darker vibe on Mickey Mouse. This is definitely a darker tone to what has been normally a very long-standing cartoon. Now, I know probably some of the older like shows or movies or whatnot probably had a little bit of a darker tone because that's just the product of the time. And they definitely go back to that here. So that was really, really good. But, that was really good. So it's not bad. It's just maybe not intended for the age that you might think a Mickey Mouse game is intended for. So just know that going on forward. Also, no voice acting. That's really weird. I feel like now I did read that the game was rushed upon release, so maybe they didn't have time to fully implement it, to fully do voice acting. They had to cut some stuff out, and I'm assuming that's one of the things that they cut out, but I don't know, it just seems like a little weird that they didn't. It feels like, this is such a high quality game that this was meant to be, that they didn't do voice acting. It's pretty weird. Some control stuff that I'm not too fond of, such as why does Mickey move so slow going forward? I ended up having to do like a zigzag motion just to get anywhere in a real amount of time because the camera was trying to orient him going directly forward, and when he does that, he moves like he's on a crawl tippy toes type. There was no like indication if there's any way to like run like normal speed, but he can do that when he goes side to side, so that just became a really big nuisance right off the bat because I was moving through things a lot slower and it was hard to explore the areas in depth. And if I had to go from one end to the other because I missed something, it just became that much more of a hassle, and it really got into me. So that's just weird. I don't know why they did that, but I didn't really like that, I also noticed that there was a little bit of controller drift. I don't know if this is because of the Wii remote that I was using with the nunchuck. But there was like a drift that made him walk in a circle if I was just trying to have him stand still. Again, I've never had a problem with Wii remote drift before, so I don't know if that's the case here, but I'd like to know if that's a problem for everybody, because that's something I definitely experienced while playing the game. There's a good mix of noise that comes from both the TV or whatever thing you're playing on and the Wii remote. It comes out of like the Wii remote speakers. It's a little jank. It doesn't necessarily blend the greatest. That might also be because of the age of my Wii remotes. I don't really know. But it just was a little weird to have that. But, it's the product of the time. A lot of Wii games attempted to do that because that was a new function that they were trying to do. So, there you go. I thought the graphics in this game are pretty good, especially for a Wii game. I know it was a later edition Wii game, but with a Disney game, you kind of expect them to be a little bit higher quality graphical-wise, and this was definitely really good for graphics. So, great enjoyment on that front. I like the attack. I like the attack control is very simple, easy to understand. So that is good. So that made it really easy to fight enemies. And it made it more intriguing to fight enemies, which was nice. There's very frequent and long cutscenes between sets of gameplay. This mostly has to deal with like tutorials and stuff like that. It just kind of just gets away from like any sense of rhythm that you might have while playing the game, and it can kind of break up a lot of stuff and make it just hard to really get invested into the game, just because you're always stopping and having to look at something different, learn something different. Sometimes the camera would not catch up to Mickey when Mickey moved from one area to the next in time. That was a little weird. Like, sometimes it would just stay in one spot while Mickey walked around. Sometimes it would follow him. Sometimes it would just be completely off of him. And some more of the high-pressure combat situations, or situations where Mickey might fall off of something or get crushed by something or something like that, that proved to be pretty annoying. So that was not great, but I do like the idea of using projectors as portals. I think that's really, really cool. Kind of another callback to the older Disney days. And there's a lot of callbacks to old Disney stuff, which I think is really, really cool. That they were paying homage and paying a nod to the old stuff from the past that maybe didn't really work out because of Mickey's success. There's some stuff that they'd rather keep under the down low, but they call back to a lot of stuff that they had effort to do. They tried to do back then, and then realized it really wasn't worth it when Mickey became popular. So glad they brought that back. I like the ability to use both paint and paint thinner. The paint part kind of reminded me of Splatoon. Game did come out before Splatoon, but I played Splatoon before this one. But I think it's really, really cool. The paint thinner is also a really, really good idea. Gives that more of an artistic vibe, artistic abilities to it. So, and then we got the good and bad choices that you can make in the game. And I really expected these to have a big effect on the story of the game. They really don't, though. It doesn't really do anything for the overall story, the plot of the game. It's mostly just a thing for completionists. You get some unique collectibles to each direction in the game, but as far as any plot lines or storylines, you're not really going to notice that at all. So, not anything too really weird about there. It's kind of lost potential in my opinion as well, because there's no intrigueness to do it. So most people are probably going to pick the good one, and completionists are going to do the bad one. I feel like any alternative endings or anything like that, a little bit more effort into that part would have been nice. So, but anyways, that's all the notes that I had for the game. Overall, it was a little underwhelming in my opinion. I did read again, the game was rushed, so that's probably why some of these technical errors arose. And there was some stuff missing that I thought they were probably going to add on if they had the extra time. So, but overall, it's not a bad game. I just don't know if it's really worth your time for full price. You get it for a good deal, though. Probably would recommend giving it a shot. So, my final score for Epic Mickey, I'm probably going to give it a 7 out of 10. Like I said, very underwhelming, but they had some good aspects to it, and it definitely had a lot more potential that just wasn't met because of time restrictions and constraints and stuff like that. So, and anyways, that's going to do it for this video. If you've ever played Epic Mickey, I'd love to know your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. And until next time, stay tuned for much more amazing content as well, including more game reviews and other awesome stuff. And until next time, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.